Hey, and welcome to another video. Now this video is all about how to master successful habits in 2020. It's a brand new year. We're midway through February, so we're still pretty much at the beginning of the year. This is the time where we set 6 months goals, 12 months goals, 5-year goals, and there's times where in year one you set a 5-year goal and you've realized that in the third year you're still trying to achieve what you should have achieved in year one. There's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes there are habits that we are not adopting, that we are not doing, that we're not practicing, that is delaying us getting our success. It's very frustrating and absolutely annoying. Now we're living in a place where the world is constantly changing, and how you define success and how I define success will be two different things. But we're going to make this relative to business, although you can take this and use this in your personal life for whatever it is that you want to succeed in. The whole aim is adopting successful habits for a better 2020. Now, we're in an age where things are evolving, things are changing constantly, and we're having to keep up. And this video is a reminder that in change, there are huge opportunities. And I want you to get excited about this. I want you to feel alive about this, because this is a year where you can adapt to what you define as success. I'm on a new journey myself. What success now means for me has been completely redefined. Everything has changed. But there's one driving thing of all, is that these habits that have worked, not just for me, that have worked for many athletes, entrepreneurs, business owners on their journey in this thing called life. Stay tuned. The first successful habit to master in 2020 is using your passion. Working from a place of passion. Finding that passion, igniting that passion, and working from that place. Deep down inside of you. For those of you who don't know what the definition of passion is, it's a strong and barely controllable emotion, okay? Now, if you have a strong and barely controllable emotion over something that you absolutely love doing, then you don't need no other driving force than a bit of passion, honey. You wake up in a job that you absolutely love, whether it be starting your brand new business that you're just so passionate about, whether it be speaking on a stage in front of many people, or even just having a one-to-one mentorship that you teach people, you educate people, you show them the way. Let me tell you, if you're operating from a place of passion, then you're already there. Think of it like this. When you have passion, you have an extreme interest in something. You have a laser focus on something. It comes natural. It's a powerful overriding feeling. Let me give you some examples. When football fans are watching a game and their team is playing, have you seen how they act? And they're about to score a goal and it's like, and they do all of this emotion just coming out of them. It's like they can't even physically control themselves. Football fans are one of the perfect examples of when it comes to showing you the real passion of someone or something, or when someone has a passion for something. But what about a chance meeting, when you meet someone and it ignites a passion inside of you? Sometimes we don't even know what the passion is, but you meet someone and it's like, oh my goodness, right? You have no idea what's going on inside of you, but damn, they looking good. Although you shouldn't be making decisions on the way people look entirely. It ignites a passion inside of you, and sometimes people even become obsessed. And some of y'all probably could relate to that if you're entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, they just ride with such passion inside of them. But you become obsessed. You can't put down the phone. You can't stop thinking about them. You've ignited such a passion inside of yourself about this individual that it's controlling your emotions. You have athletes who are absolutely passionate about the sport that they are in, or business owners who are absolutely passionate about the business or the service that they are delivering to the mass. What successful people do is operate from a place of passion. Now, if you haven't found something that you're passionate about, go out there and try new things so you can create a passion for yourself. You can find that passion. Don't limit yourself, because if you're limiting yourself, then you won't be able to find passion. Go Go out there, have experiences, read different things and try different things. And then you'll find that something you actually like works for you, and this is where your passion is. There's some people who have a business and they're very passionate about one particular area. If this is you, then I would suggest that you focus on that area and get other people to do all the other things you don't like. Find your passion, and if you don't have one, create it. Successful habit number 2 is ignoring uncertainty. Now, uncertainty is a challenging one. Some people need certainty. It's hard to operate when you have no idea what's going to happen next. Now, I'm absolutely wanting my Jamaican bun and butter and a nice cup of coffee, so that's exactly what I'm going to go and get. Hold on. There we go. Now I've had to put my microphone on to ensure that you guys can hear me, so just work with the scene. Uncertainty is a challenge for many people, but have you noticed with successful people, like super successful people, they walk with certainty even when uncertain? Have you noticed that they are not necessarily sure about the outcome, but they will still make a decision certain on the fact that they're going to get the outcome they intend to get, but open to the fact that they may not get the outcome. With that approach, they then become comfortable in the uncertainty. Let me give you an example. Presidents run countries, okay? I'm having a party over here. I love food so much, I'm not gonna have a coffee in my video and not actually drink it, so y'all gonna be sipping with me, okay? So have you noticed presidents, they run countries and they have a disruption within their country. Like now, there's coronavirus going around. I've been calling it coronavirus. Is it corona? Corona. Going around at the moment, and now the president or the prime minister, they've got to do something. Just like back in the day, remember mouth, foot, and cow, one of them ones there, disease came out, and Tony Blair had to go around to all the continents, all the countries, to go and do some speech and go and check on what's going on, where it's coming from, how can it impact our country, and make sure that it does not happen, it doesn't get over here, and if it does, what kind of vaccinations and what kind of precautions can we take. As a president, they've got to make decisions with all this uproar going on about a disease. You don't know where it's come from. They don't know whether there's a cure for the virus. They don't know whether this decision that they're going to make on whether we should cut down any immigrants coming in or out of the country, then what countries are we cutting them down from? Because they can't be seen just to be taking such thorough action where it's not fair, right? Because very often we're from this place now, everything has to be fair, right? So they've got to make these decisions in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of change, which actually breeds fear. Change equals uncertainty that breeds fear. So in the midst of this, they've got to make these decisions. And it's the same for you and your life, for your business. In the midst of change, you're going to have uncertainty. That's without a shadow of a doubt, because not everyone reacts to change well, and not all the change that's happening is good change. Some of it's bad change. So you've got to make decisions around that, creating uncertainty and ultimately creating fear. So you as an individual adopting this new successful habit needs to know how to operate in uncertainty, so you can then see it as an opportunity rather than see it from a place of fear. And don't bother thinking about trying to change, because you can't change. Change is always going to be there. So the way how you dress changes, the way how you feel changes, the way how people react changes, the workplace changes, business changes, the market changes, even countries change. Everything changes. That's inevitable. So when you step into uncertainty, you bring certainty to the situation. This means you're taking control. You're focusing on what you can do. You're focusing on the future and not the past. You're focusing on what you want, what you have, what you need, what your priorities are for that situation in the immediate instance, therefore creating control and then getting the outcome that you want. You've also got to be open to the fact that you may not get the outcome that you want, but that's not where the focus is, you see. You're focusing on what you do want, the outcome you want, taking these particular steps, even when you're uncertain. Sorry if I'm really loud. I'm just like shouting. See, I'm passionate about teaching y'all this. Even when you're uncertain, you're still putting yourself in the driving seat so you can then go ahead and get the outcome that you want. But at the same time, being prepared and comfortable with the fact that it may not go this way. So for example, in property, when we're going to buy a house, whether it's buy to sell, or mainly buy to sell, you have plan A, which is buy to sell the house. However, things come up all the time, and therefore you're not able to sell the house the way you wanted, whether it be the cost super exceeding what you thought it would be, and therefore there's no longer a deal the way you thought it was. The market may change. This house that was once valued at 100 is now valued at 50. You have to now consider an alternative plan. So when you're looking at a buy to sell project, you're already going into the buy to sell with a plan A, a plan B, and ideally a plan C. So you know if plan A doesn't work, we've got plan B. We've just left the EU, right? So Brexit has happened and we haven't got a deal. That it does make me feel a bit unstable, just a little bit, because now we don't know what we're going to secure. I do know that the UK is a very strong market on its own. However, that still doesn't mean anything to me, because I know that things change like the weather. You've got Donald Trump now really shaking the relationship that they had with China, is now creating even more uncertainty. Now, what does that mean? Right? And you got to remember, China make everything. Okay, this plate was made in Thailand. It's from IKEA. I love this plate. Thailand? IKEA? Thailand. Wow, that's interesting. But you know, everything's made in China. So the fact that China now make everything means that we slow down our manufacturing on what we then produce. And therefore, if China was to just withdraw everything, we've now got to scrum around and find factories and find people and find all this stuff to be made again, because we don't do that. Right, England don't produce as much as you think they do. Adopting this successful habit in 2020 will help change your life. Creating certainty in uncertainty and being comfortable with uncertainty so you can make decisions quickly and move on. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And a good way to start getting you on that journey of feeling certain in uncertain circumstances is by using affirmations, telling yourself, I have the strength and the power to be strong. I can do this. I am in control. Now, that's a lot of I. What you need to be doing is praying to the Most High God and asking for help, because He's the creator of this earth. But for those of you who don't believe in all of that, which you should but don't, affirmations along those lines that are reaffirming, reinforcing that you can do this. You're creating a belief, a new belief inside yourself, embedding it that you can do it. Habit number 3. Now let me tell you, this habit right here will be the make and break of every single thing you do. If you cannot do this habit right here, then you are doomed. I mean that. Habit number 3 is being decisive. Making decisions. Decide. Boom. Do you know how powerful that is? If you can make a decision and decide, then the whole world will move for you. The whole world will start to change and maneuver and react and create so it can take shape for you. You've got to have the ability to make a decision and act with confidence. I make this decision. You have to be able to act after you've made that decision. And if it's not you physically, then who's carrying out that decision, then you delegate and you enforce. The reason I stress this point, because people who are undecisive are staying on the fence. They go on the fence, they stay on the fence, and they're looking at everyone, wobbling from left to right, unsure about what decision they're going to make while everyone else is moving beside them. And then 5 years have gone past and they still don't know why life is the same for them. So making a decision is probably one of the biggest ones. Let me give you an example. I lived in London pretty much most of my life. I lived in America for 5 years before coming back to London and living there for a period of time. London is a fantastic place. It's got 8.9 million people, condensed place. And I found that this doesn't work for me. So I decided to move to somewhere called Wales, where there is only 3 million people. London is small. Wales is huge. You've got 8.9 million, 3 million. I am going to a place where house prices went from 350 for a 3-bedroom house to 50 grand to a 3-bedroom house. So I made the decision to move. Simple. I had many other driving factors, but I made the decision to move, and I won't look back. So knowing that the earth moves for you when you make a decision and formulates it so it all comes to the way you want, wouldn't making a decision be a lot more easier for you? And let me give you an example of some of the ways people are decisive. Someone gives you a bell and you say, look, this is what it will be. This is how we're going to do it. This is the plan we're going to take. This is the route we're going to take. No. Yes. Let's do this. Let's go. This is decision. This is what we're going to do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Implement that right away. Thank you. This is decisiveness. Someone shows you a dress. I like the red one. Practice being decisive and don't think about it. Just start doing it. When someone asks you a question, answer it. Don't say, oh, I don't know. Oh, we'll see. Just start practicing, making decisions on the small things, and you'll be surprised at how much bigger things you're able to make a decisive decision on quickly. Change is inevitable. So rather the fear of getting it wrong, trust yourself. Decisiveness is about the trust you have for yourself, okay? Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust your decisions. So what you need to do is then look at the relationship you have with yourself and determine where it is and build trust with yourself. That is an absolute fundamental, because if I ask you your opinion, this is where now I'm putting you on the line. You need to tell me. This is where you need to make a decision. Hey, I need your opinion. The ball is in your court. What are you going to do? Are you going to do A or are you going to do B? Some people do not trust themselves and say, well, I don't know. I don't know if it should be A. I don't know if it should be. You've got to trust yourself and say, you know what? I know it's going to be A. From what I see, that is the best option. Now, it may not be right. You got to be comfortable with that. You got to be okay with that. Other facts might come about and you realize you've made the wrong decision. But at the time when you had information you had to make the decision with, it was the right decision. This is where growth happens. The more decisive decisions you make that are right, the more you're going to trust yourself. Start making decisive decisions on small things at home, bringing them out into the workplace, into the business place, and you will find that your life changes exponentially. A leader will put themselves on the line and make decisions when no one else will make the decision. They act. They make a decisive decision and act and incorporate right away. The last habit is to connect and give back. Now, I'm not talking about connecting on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, any form of social media platform. I'm talking about really building long-lasting relationships or rebuilding lasting relationships with family, with friends, with work colleagues, where you turn off the phone when you are talking to people. You are giving individuals your undivided attention when you are communicating with them. Relationships where you're contributing to people's lives. You're helping them make a difference. You're making a difference. That is so fulfilling, not just for yourself, but for the individual who you are giving the help to. Helping people does not always come in the form of money, nor gifts, all right? Making a contribution in someone's life could be just picking up the phone at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day and saying, hey, are you okay? How are you? Taking the time out to not just ask that question, but listen to the answer. Listen to what people are saying. Key to building a long-lasting, successful, genuinely fulfilling relationship. What's unfortunate about the society we live in today is everything has to be big. Has to be gold, has to be shiny. If I don't have the nice car, the latest camera, the best phone, then who am I? If I don't have the most followers on social media, I can't offer no one help, because how am I supposed to know? We measure what we can do based on what we have. Time is a gift. So it's valuing these things here and seeing the value in them and offering that to other people will make such a huge difference in your life. Don't you find that when you help someone, you get a sense of abundance? Some people believe in the laws of karma. I just believe in the Most High God, and I know that He reciprocates, right? If you do good, you get good. And that's how He rewards you. So it's very, very important to live a good life and just give people what you can, not to your demise and not to your detriment, but giving people so you can feel abundant, so they can feel abundant, and we're all reciprocating and living in a world of abundance. These things change your your psychology, it changes your state, it changes your spirit. Your biggest takeaway from this is for you to remember that you create a life of your own. You do not just manage circumstances. So when you operate from a place of passion, you feel good, you feel alive, you navigate change effectively, and the feeling of uncertainty is heavily reduced. You don't worry about the bad outcomes because you cannot wait to experience the good outcome. You even exploit uncertainty and make power moves, excited about the outcome that you're going to achieve. You own it. Who cares if you get it wrong? You have so many other ideas that you couldn't care less about the last one that went wrong, because you know one of these will be right. With your glass so full on delight, your cup runneth over, and you exude compassion for others. And not just for your wonderful family who love and support you, but for your business acquaintances and friends and associates who help you too. So be decisive now and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. There are many more videos coming out on this topic and many more. And if you are new in property or new in business for that matter, then you should follow this channel and stay tuned, because you will be growing just like we are. I can't wait to see you in another video. Take care, incorporate these habits, and let me know which one you like the best in the comments down below. Until the next video, take care.